Is anyone from non-IT background, guys? Okay, fine. So, what do you mean by test automation according to you? Yeah. What do you mean by test automation? What is testing? What is test automation is all about? I just want to get your views, inputs, and ideas. It's okay, guys. You can talk. Process to test manual test cases using any tool. Okay. So you can talk on this point. You need not type it in the chat box. You can just talk on this point. What is automation testing? What is the importance of automation testing and why, in your own views? Even though it's right or wrong, that doesn't matter, but I just want to get your views on this.
Yeah, so while doing regression testing, we can do the automation testing. As at that time, we have very less time and we have to execute more test cases. So maybe dependent, maybe
Mm-hmm.
we
It's
can
okay.
use
It's okay.
any tool at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. How about others? How about others? Harika, Pramila, Logeshwaran, Sundar.
It is a process where it uses less manpower and with a faster and accurate way by using tools we do the automation like
Mm-hmm.
by delivering quality work and in a faster quick manner by
Mm.
using tools without manual effort.
Okay. So how about others? Sundar, Rohit, Abhi, Vishnu, and Dinesh.
Um, yeah. In order to increase the software quality in a very less time, we need to go for automation testing than manual testing. Automation testing
Mm-hmm.
is consist of sequence of written automated test scripts that run in either Selenium or some other tools to identify the bugs and the bug defects. I think so. That's automation testing.
Mm. Okay. So how about others? Abhishek, Suguna, Dinesh, Vishnu.
So just automation testing is just automating the functionalities, whatever we have written in the test cases for the manual. So the same
Mm-hmm.
manual test cases will be going and do the automation so that it will be helpful when we do some regression testing or end-to-end integration testing. It will
Mm-hmm.
helps us in reducing the time and effects uh, 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 and the human effects.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
whenever there is any deployment happens, so we'll just go with the automation testing instead of manual.
Mm. Okay. Cool. So anyone else would love to jump in and share their view on automation testing? Yeah, Suguna, go ahead.
Yeah, so the automation testing is make sure the quality of the product by using the automation tool without the manual power.
Mm.
It is used mainly for the repeated test case as for the regression kind of test case and for the reliable product, and it reduces the cost and manual power time everything.
Mm. Venkatesh, can you mute it? Yeah. So sorry, Sugna, if I've disturbed in your middle.
Yeah, no problem.
Mm.
Yeah, are we recording this session?
Yeah, yeah, it's been recorded.
Okay, thank you.
So anyone last person who would love to jump in and say something about automation testing before I go to the topic? Anyone else? Vishnu, Abhi, Rohit? So, that was the first topic we discussed. Why automation testing is important. So, you guys have shared your own views, your own understanding of why automation testing is so important. So, naturally, that is the first point we always discuss in our class. The first point, why automation testing is important. I know everyone is here to upgrade themselves in this field of testing, but you should also know why it is important, right? So, most of you have answered the right points. So by seeing this image, what can you infer from this image, guys? This is not here to pinpoint anyone, but what can you infer from this image? Anyone can tell me what is your view and claim on this?
It seems the one who is doing manual testing is struggling, and the one who is doing automation, he's just relaxing and enjoying its work.
Hmm.
It seems.
Yes. So the condition, what I'm trying to say is when the application is really going live, like you're trying to launch the application in next 1 week or 10 days. So the efforts of a manual tester will be pretty huge, right? He needs to fill this Excel document, he needs to fill that test cell document, he needs to prepare a test summary report, test case report, blah blah blah, and all the stuff. Whereas when you have a robust automation suite in picture, what will happen on a single play, on a single button click, all the activities, all the regular activities will happen, will execute, will generate reports. It will also generate your test case summary reports in Excel if you want to, and you can start work. You can just submit that report, and manual team can work on the other areas. Got it? Is this clear, guys? Everyone? Abhishek, Naveen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyone else has any other view by referring to this image? Anyone else is having a different view or different perspective of this image? Can also can also let us know so that we can also see what is it.
Isha, while
Yeah.
doing manual testing, it will take a huge time. It's while doing automation, it will reduce the time, sir.
Hmm. So let us see what are the advantages of automation testing. We have just seen just now someone said time reduction, time reduction, cost reduction, a lot. So let us go through those points again. What is the advantage of test automation testing? It is reliability. So tests that perform the same operation each time they run, like no matter if you run the same test case for 100 times, it performs the same set of operations without even any single error. Because when we are asked to do the same, when we are asked to run the same test cases in different releases, like today I got a one new release, I want to execute the same test case. Tomorrow I got one more release, I want to execute the same test case. Day after tomorrow, I mean next week I got one more release, I want to execute the same test case. Once or twice we can execute the test case with that kind of efficiency. If you want to say execute the same test case for 6 months, 7 months, 10 months, definitely we all tend to make a error. In order to avoid such errors and stuff, that is where automation is very useful. Once you build up the script and once you build a reliability and robustness, then definitely we can see a better results, we can see a better report, we can see if there is any issue or not. Got it? Got the point about reliability?
Yes.
Repeatability. So now I want to execute the same test case for 100 times. So to check how the software reacts under repeated execution. So if I execute the same test case once, it's totally fine. Twice it works fine. But I want to say how the software reacts. Like continuously keep on repeating the execution again and again. So for so many number of times on the same day. We can also see how the software reacts, whether the software breaks down, whether the software accepts it fully, or whether you can find some technical glitches. Comprehensiveness. So we can build a suite of test cases that covers every feature of the application. Like we can create a test suite in automation that covers each and every hook and corner of the functionality, each and every corner of the application. Better quality software. We can, as we all discussed just now, we can run more test cases in less amount of time with reduced team size. So remember this word. Remember this word. Run more test cases, less time and reduce team size. These are the two keywords you should always remember. When someone asks why automation testing, you can say reliability, repeatability as your first points. The foremost point is we can run test cases in less amount of time and reduce team size. These 2 points you have to mention it. Okay. Reusability. Even though, yeah, someone wants to speak something.
Sorry, it is unmuted wrongly.
So what do you mean by reusability? So we might be getting different versions or different releases for our application. Even though we get a new code, or like if they ask you to execute the same code in SIT branch or an UAT branch, or they want to execute the code in the local, they want to execute the code in the pre-production environment. Even though there are different environments, you need not make much of the changes in the automation code. You can reuse the same script and execute the same code there also. Got it? Previously, what we used to do as manual testers, we used to take screenshots separately to validate whether it is right or not. We used to submit evidences. We used to check everything once again and see whether it is pass or fail. By having automation scripts in picture, the scripts can be reusable. That means you can run the same scripts in different environments, different machines, different places also. So automated tools run fast test cases significantly faster than the manual process. It's just like the automation tools, how they run the test cases is just like Usain Bolt. It's like it travels fast. It executes fast. The execution finishes in a blink of an eye. You'll never ever realize what has happened also. That fast is the automation. That fast is automated tools. That fast how the test cases will be executed using the automation tools. What do you mean by programmability? We can we can bring out some hidden information from the application. Like when we say that if I execute the same test case for 100 times or 200 times, you can bring out some hidden information about the software, like application is breaking, or application is giving us some glitches, or when you're trying to log in before the page is loaded, whether it is able to accept that information or not. Like this sort of hidden information can be brought out when you write a very robust automation scripts. Cost reduction. The results of reduced team size realized by productive gains. Once the team size is reduced, then the cost also will be reduced, right? Automatically. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So now why automation testing is the need of the hour in most of the companies is, so who manages the finances of our project in any company? Who manages the finance of the project? The project manager. The project manager will handle all the finances related to the project. He is the one who is answerable to show a profit margin in the project. In order to create, see, in most of the companies, testing is the overhead process. What do you mean by overhead process? Can anyone tell me? Can you tell me what is an overhead process, guys? Overhead thing? It's okay, come on.
More cost and more resources.
Yeah. So project managers, how do they think is like, it's okay that we have good right set of developers and we can spend money on the developers. But when it comes to testing, these project managers feel like some additional burden to the project. They also know that testing is a very important process with respect to the product, because without a testing team certifying it, if we find more defects or more issues, then it can lead to more financial losses. Then we are about to face more number of fines from the customer. If any financial loss happens, the software company needs to bear the loss. Got it? If there is no testing, then these losses have to be borne by the company or the project. And at the same time, the project manager is not even interested to spend that much amount of money in testing, on testing team or testing department. So the word automation testing is such that the project manager has keywords here: reduce team size, cost reduction, less time. So these are the three keywords that any project manager would love to listen, would love to spend hours and hours of time. That what if we do this? Because whenever there is reduced cost and reduced team size, project manager is always happy. That is the reason most of the companies are encouraging automation testing. Got it? Like from a management standpoint of view, I'm just trying to explain you why automation testing has become important and why you can see some good hirings for automation testing than manual testing. Clear? Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
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 So in order to explain my thing, I'll just pull out some math. So so this is some math I've drawn out for you. So there's some project X which runs for over 2 years for development and testing. The allocated team size for the project is 50. Okay. And for the QA department, I've allocated 15 to 20 members. So what I'll do, 18 members have been hired as manual testers. Like when I say 15 to 20, as per my hiring process, I've hired 18 members as manual testers, where the average payroll of a tester is 8 lakhs per annum. So what is the cost to the project per annum? 1.44 CR is the cost spent on the testing team. So if you see almost 1.5 CR per year is spent on the QA team, then the project manager will be worried, literally shaken. They'll feel, because already I'm spending most of my budget on the development, because if I don't spend the budget on development, I'll not get the right product. But he feels that QA is something like a bit of a overhead for me and all the stuff. Spending 1.5 CR for a 2 year project, he feels like it's a burden, overhead. So what he will do, he will pick three quality automation engineers whose payroll is 15 lakhs per annum. So 3 into 15 is 45 lakhs. And again, I'll have 5 manual testers, because someone needs to be there to test the application manually, right? Because without manual testers, there won't be any automation testers. When someone says automation completely replaces the manual testing, just tell them blindly that it's a myth. It's a myth. Automation testing is just to enhance the testing capabilities of the project. Okay? We are here to enhance the testing capabilities of the project by providing quick execution, quick reports, and quick Excel dashboards, so that manual tester can simplify his work. There is no threat to manual tester's job. See, for any profession, any department, a skill upgrade is required. So, automation testing never replaces manual testing. We are just supporting the testing process. So, 5 manual testers, where my average salary is 8 lakhs per annum. What is 5 into 8? 40 lakhs. What is the total effective cost? 45 plus 40, that is 85 lakhs. How much amount he has saved per annum? It's 65 lakhs. A save of 65 lakhs per annum is much, much, much better, because he can show this as a profit, straight profit to the project. Clear? Is this clear, guys? The math?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is clear.
So, this is the thing that happens whenever That is the main reason. That is why you see most of the hirings in automation testing. Now, very less hirings for manual testing. Like they are expecting people to do both automation and manual testing these days. That is the thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like these days, most of the companies or people are expecting us to do automation and manual testing simultaneously. Yes or no?
Yeah, it's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm. So, as I've told you, hmm? Speed. It requires repetitive execution of tests while regression testing and executing the test cases is manually test time consuming. Automating the test cases drastically reduces the testing time. Got it?
Yes. Got it.
Hmm. So effective test management enables the test cases to be traced, updated, and reused in the future to cover and execute when there are similar requirements or functionalities. Okay. So if you want to reuse the test cases in the future, if you want to cover the similar requirements of similar functionalities in other projects also, automation testing will be pretty useful. Like in project Y, I have automated the suite completely, like 60% of test cases are automated. Then again comes a project Z, which is just a replica of project Y with some minimalistic changes. So instead of doing a round of manual testing, we can use the same automation scripts onto this Z application and see how effective it is. Hope we can create a test suite with minimal changes. Yeah. And wider test coverage, scope to create a large number of complex automated cases along with their execution repeatedly over a period of time. So we are creating the more number of cases that are automated, the more, the manual team can expand the range of coverage. Got it? The more and more cases we cover via automation, the more coverage will be there for the test suite. How? When automation team covers those test cases, manual team need not execute those test cases. In fact, they can see what more scenarios can be found and what more scenarios can be written as the test cases so that we can have a record of it. If it is possible to automate, get it automated because it will reduce your time, it will reduce your burden. Because a manual testing team, apart from test case execution, they'll have a lot of activities to take care of, like bug tracking, bug triaging, meetings, and all this stuff. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
So accuracy, it executes with a greater precision and lower errors than manual testing. Resource optimization frees the testing resources from the test execution of software builds that are frequently given by the development team. Like every night we receive a new bill from the development team. So it is very difficult for us to do testing by waking up all night and doing the testing manually. So when you have a ready-made automation script in place, automatically it gets triggered. Like right after the build is deployed, the code automatically gets triggered and executes the scripts and let us know whether the script is pass or fail. Got it?
Yeah.
Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So what does this image help you explain?
N number of hours we are spending on manual and automation.
Yeah. So what do you understand?
So automation test execution time is less as compared to manual testing.
Hmm.
Yes.
Mm. So the more number of hours are spent on manual testing. Like these numbers, what I have shown here is just a assumption, like assumption are just near to reality. I guess people have worked in manual testing. When you want to do a full regression of 1,000 test cases, obviously it will take 160 man hours, right? Like assuming that you have 8 days to 8 hours of working time, it is very difficult, right? I mean, it's not only about testing, it's all about generating the reports, sharing the evidences, and giving it to the stakeholders. All these activities will be there, right? Yes or no? Capturing the screenshots, putting them in
Yes.
one different place.
Yes.
So, whereas when you write a proper automation script, it will finish in 1/10 of the time that you spend, because while executing only, it will start preparing the report, it will start capturing the screenshots on the flow, it will start preparing your Excel dashboards, Excel templates, and all the stuff. Everything happens in one single attempt. So, this is partial regression, sanity, smoke. Automation testing mainly is essential when you are having a smoke suit. Like the most important role where automation plays is in the smoke suit, because continuously uh, so why smoke suit is essential to be automated, because continuously we'll be receiving the bills and continuously we have to work on it. Continuously, no, we can't do smoke test all the time. Or in a real life scenario, like recently what I have faced is that we have to run a smoke suit in the production environment. That means in the client environment. But we do not have access to run the test cases in the client environment. Why they have asked for the smoke suit in the production environment is that every time a person sitting in front of the system and doing a smoke test is consuming a lot of time. They are spending around 5 to 6 hours. The downtime is 4 hours, but they are spending 5 to 6 hours to close the smoke suit. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
So in such situation, what they have requested is uh, they asked us to build a smoke suit and deploy it in the system. Like one of our employees will be working there, right? We are supposed to deploy that code into their system so that on a button click, the cases will be executed and he can see the report, whether it's pass, fail, skip, or something like that. Yeah, yes or no? The same activity what he has spent for 5 hours will be finished in less than an hour, right? Because in production environment we are not going to do any functional testing. We are here to navigate between the screens and check whether the screens are working properly or not, right? For people who are experienced in working in production environments, this is the smoke suit that we do. Correct me if I'm wrong. Clear? Am I clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
So before we jump into the main thing about automation testing, these are the 5 things we all need to remember. So first thing, never ever automate a mess. That means what? Whatever the script that you're planning to write it with some clarity, write it with some understanding of what you are trying to do. Okay? Don't create a mess like you have, since you want to automate it, you have just written some 3 4 lines of code and you just left it. That is not what automation testing. Second thing, avoid complex logic in your scripts. Okay? Avoid complex logic in your scripts means what? You should not, you should write the logic which is necessary for the test case. Don't try to create some other stuff. Yeah. So in 100%, so 100% automation is not at all possible. Even though one says that 100% automation is feasible, never ever believe that 100% automation is never possible. We cannot achieve it. I've seen no one doing this 100% automation for a complete software. The highest percentage of test cases that can be automated is max 80 to 85%. If that too, you are a very strong in automation. Got it?
Yes.
So, if you want to become an automation tester, first you need to be clear of what are the testing concepts. What is the smoke suit? What is the regression suit? What is the agile model? What is the waterfall model? You need to have a basic understanding of the testing concepts. Without understanding the testing concepts, don't jump into test automation because you need to know the minimum terminology of what is the testing. So, test automation is a software development process. Okay? Because we have to write the code, we have to build the framework, we have to build everything from the scratch. And we do not have a dedicated testing team to test the code also. We only need to develop it, we only need to test it. Yeah,
Okay.
got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Any doubts?
So can you share the reason why it is not being 100%?
So you might have captcha in your system, in your application you will have captcha. So automating a captcha is possible. Do you think I can do image processing right now? The whole point of captcha is not so for any bot not to understand it, right? Only humans should be able to read the points. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes or no?
yes, yes.
So image processing thing, do you really check how the video is being displayed in that particular place? If a video needs to be there, do you think if the video is running properly or not? Audio is audio is working properly or not? Do you think automation testing can be done on these areas? Because there's something visually we analyze and we get the feel right. Not any bot can understand this thing. Yeah, yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So that is why I'm saying you cannot ever do 100% automation for any application. Because definitely in most of our applications, a bit of a image processing will be there. A bit of image processing will be there. We cannot avoid that. Hmm?
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
I have a question. Only the image process we cannot do it in each any other things also we cannot do in the automation.
Uh, any other things means suppose image processing is
Example.
there. Yeah, image processing is there. Again, as I've told you, audio video testing we can't do, right?
Yeah.
Audio video testing we can't do. We cannot check the spellings, right? Like if it is English, we check it off. But if it is in other country, like there are some companies where they have this Finnish application or the Spanish application, we cannot compare the spellings, right? Like exact spelling is given or not. Suguna, am I clear for you?
Okay. Yeah.
Spellings, then you can say this third party, like if you want to connect to the shared folders, like a private shared folders, which is accessible by us from the client side. Like when you want to really work with SFTP and FTP protocols, that time Selenium might not be of a great help. Like for some SFTP or FTP servers, we cannot use Selenium with Java for that. Neither, like it doesn't allow any other bot to access it. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
So if you want to really work on PDF validation, like we can get the text of the PDFs, but if you want to really validate line to line, sometimes it can be a difficult part because in middle you can put some images, in middle you can put some lines. You never know. Yeah.
In this case, we cannot automate captcha too, right?
Yeah, CAPTCHA is not meant to be automated, first of all. The whole purpose of
Okay.
CAPTCHA is only a human should be able to enter the text. If a bot is able to enter the text, that means your CAPTCHA is really poor. You need to figure out and giving a better CAPTCHA. Like in
Okay.
interview also, most of the people will ask the same question. This question is common in most of the interviews. Can we automate CAPTCHA? If you say no, why no? Why that? Why this? They tend to be a bit aggressive. Should say like automation testing is done by what? A bot. Selenium is a bot which helps in easing your testing process. The whole purpose of CAPTCHA is what? It should not understand the image. The image what is there, it should be understandable by the humans only, not by the bot. If a bot is able to automate your CAPTCHA, then the CAPTCHA that you have is useless. Got it? This is the
Yes.
way need to answer.
Yeah.
I think even OTP submission is also we can't automate, right?
Yeah, yeah. OTP submission, there are two ways to look at it, Harshad. When you are trying to automate the OTPs in your local environment or till your SIT branch, you can get the OTP from the logs. Like from the log file, you can get the OTP. When you are going to production, you cannot automate OTPs. There
Okay.
are two ways to look at it, Harshad.
Okay.
Okay. Is this clear, guys? Any doubts?
It's clear.
So, hope you are able to see this graph, right, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
So, what is your understanding of this graph?
Manual testing is cost is more when compared to the automated testing.
Hmm. Like most of the companies, what is happening means they believe that automation testing is uh, automation testing is costing us a lot. Like if you see in the initial builds, what is their opinion? Automation testing is costing us a lot, whereas by manually we can finish it up. Manually the cost is pretty less. That is the impression that we get when we first work on automation testing, because we might take a lot of time to build a framework, we might take a lot of time to build a proper scripting, but the cost spent on our automation remains uniformly the same. You see, almost or near, it remains uniformly the same. Whereas for each and every build, the moment when we approach the closure of the project, the manual testing cost will increase a lot. By how? We tend to add more resources at the final stages of the project, because having a senior resource who has already seen through the builds of the process, seen through the builds, or handle various production issues, If they are in the project, then it would be great. So we allocate some hours, we allocate some budget for them. What happens? The cost will tend to increase. Yes or no? Initially, it starts with 5 members, but later on, it will turn out that you'll have 15 members in the QA project only. If you have only manual testing in process. Got it? Got it, guys? Suguna, Harika, Pramila, Rohit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Sundar, Venkatesh, Ipsita, I hope you guys are clear. Harshit,
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess means what, Sundar? I guess means are you clear or you just need more understanding, Sundar? I guess means.
I'm clear in that.
Hmm. So these are the areas or things that you guys need to understand about what is automation testing, why automation testing, what are the different way, why automation testing, how it is efficient from a financial standpoint of view, from a project management standpoint of view, and for us as testers, how it can ease the process. We have just seen in theory of what is what, why automation testing and stuff. Okay. So is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so anyone has any doubts? Anyone has any doubts, guys? Savita, Dinesh, Ramya, Vishnu.
No, sir.
No.
So let us go through the course plan once again. Yeah. So what is testing and test automation? We have covered this point. SDLC lifecycle with respect to test automation. Importance of test automation along with different facets of testing, case studies and facts. We have discussed these 2 points today in the class. What is testing and test automation? What is the importance of test automation along with different facets of testing, case studies and facts? Why Selenium is one of the most popular or widely used tools among all the tools? What are the different pros and cons of it compared to other tools? Then we go through the installation of tools. JDK setup and installation of Eclipse and IntelliJ tools, then Git Bash installation. So before I jump into the next point, how many of you are good with HTML, like HTML basics? How many of you are really good with HTML basics? If you know, type yes in the chat box. If you don't know, type no in the chat box. So I see more no's than yes. So what is my plan is I wanted to include some 1 or 2 classes on the HTML basics, like what is the HTML body, what is an HTML head. I just want to go through the HTML basics because the more HTML basics you know, that the purpose of HTML, the easy for you to handle the Selenium related part. If you're okay with it, like 1 or 2 classes, I want to have something on the HTML basics, like how the HTML form is generated, what is the purpose of button, div span, and all this stuff. Yeah, is this clear? Is this okay to have?
Yes, sir.
Mm. So
Yes.
we'll be having another session called as HTML basics. I'll just ask the team to update this course plan. So Git concepts. So we need to sign up for a GitHub account. create an empty repository? How do we create the branches in Git? Cloning the code from Git using the command prompt, commit the code from Git using command prompt, push the code, check out the code. How do we push a fresh project present in a local system to Git? How do you perform the same Git commands using this IntelliJ? IntelliJ is one of the most popular tools, guys. Okay, is it clear, guys? So, what
Yes.
are the basics of Java? How do we create a new class? What are the different data types and wrapper classes? The conditional and looping statements, static versus non-static methods, the basics of the constructors, the introduction to strings and exceptions, introduction to arrays, yeah, arrays, integration of basics which are the Selenium concepts that we have learned. So strings is one of the most important topics when it comes to automation. What is the importance of strings and collections from automation perspective? What are the different types of string functions in Java? How do you use string utils for Apache Maven? Intro to collection concepts and overview of different types of collections. Yeah, different types of collections and their usage. What is exception handling and its purpose from automation perspective? What is the syntax of using exception handling using try catch block? Purpose of finally block. How do we use multiple catch blocks with one try block? What is the difference between throws and throw method? How do we create a custom exception in calling them? What are the different ways of writing a file and how do we use for logging? Different ways of file reading, collecting all the lines of the file in one go, copying of files from one location to another location, different concepts of file functions. What are the points we cover in it? We cover all the OOPS concept like encapsulation, polymorphism, abstraction, inheritance. What is the purpose of extends and implements keywords? This and super keyword. How do we set up a basic Selenium project? What is Selenium ID and Selenium RC? What are the different types of locators used for searching the elements? So how do we find the web elements on the basis of XPaths? So if you don't know some terminology, you don't know some names, that is totally fine because it will take some time for you all to get to these topics and go through it and understand it. I'm just trying to go through the course plan. Just I'm trying to say what are the topics that I'm covering here. Handling pop-ups using Selenium WebDriver, actions class. How do we handle multiple windows and tabs based on the screenshot combinations? Capturing screenshots using Selenium WebDriver, handling frames and shadow frames, uploading and downloading of files, Chrome options and desired capabilities which helps in enhancing the driver. So what is TestNG and how do we install TestNG from the marketplace? How do we use annotate the sample annotations? How do we script the text cases, parameterization, grouping? How do we create a dependency between the test cases? How do we use WebDriver event listener? How do we use listeners as part of the scripting? How do we use Cucumber? How do we create a runner file? How do we create a feature file? How do we execute the test cases? What is the difference between scenario and scenario outline? How do we perform different Excel operations? How do we perform different operations on the properties file? Properties file is nothing but it's just like a basic file where we store the values like application URL, which browser you want to run the code, whether you want to generate screenshots or not. Like these kind of values will be maintained in the properties file. We'll be discussing that in that class in more in this properties topic. JSON file operations, how do we generate extend reports, how do we do API testing, how do we build a framework like based on the concepts that we have learned, how do we build a framework. In addition to that, we'll be discussing about database basics also, and how do we run the code using Maven build. If possible, we can work on the CI/CD part. Got it? So
Okay.
these are there are a lot more topics to cover. In fact, more than, we have 3 to 4 more topics to cover than the syllabus also. Okay,
Sorry to
I'll
interrupt
just
you,
start.
sir.
Hmm.
Shall we expect any frameworks from the class? If yes,
We'll
what
be
are they?
giving you an will be expect you can expect a hybrid framework from the class. If you want a keyword driven and a data driven, then we have to work on it again and see, because when we are discussing about Excel operations, then it's easy for me to discuss about keyword and data driven. Okay,
Okay.
I can give you a flavor of keyword driven and data driven, and there'll be one more framework called as a hybrid framework. That is a combination of all the concepts in one single shot. That will be like the most complex framework for you to understand.
Is that will cover in the robotics also?
No, we don't cover any robotics, that Python robotics or Java robotics. We don't cover this because most of the companies they go with either keyword, data driven hybrid.
Thank you, sir.
Mm.
May I know the duration of this course?
It is 30 to 45 days.
Okay, sir.
Mm.
Do you have the recordings?
Yeah, this every day you get a recording, right?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Every day, every day you get a recording. Yeah, got it? Any doubts, anyone, guys?
Uh, hi. Actually, we mentioned in the topic it is cucumber. Cucumber is part of which framework? Cucumber framework.
Cucumber stands for BDD. So actually, Cucumber is a tool. BDD is just a concept. That is not a framework. Most or 90% of the people get confused saying as BDD framework. In order to market it, we have written BDD framework, but BDD is a concept. Cucumber is a tool. Okay. BDD stands for Driven Development. What do you mean by behavior driven development? Is we'll be getting the stories from the end user, like how he wants the flow to happen. Based on his story, we will write the test script. Okay. You'll get to know more further when we discuss about the cucumber topic. Okay.
So will you cover what are the different frameworks available? That one also is in the curriculum.
Yes. Like if you see the last point, real-time topics like how do we build a framework from scratch? What are the different type of frameworks used in the market?
Mhm.
How do we use Excel?
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Do
Yes,
you have
Savita.
any idea to? I actually what I'm expecting is I want to have the real-time project experience. Is there
So,
any chance to get?
if you want a real-time project experience, first of all, I'm not commenting anything in this class, but whatever the things that you practice in the class, if you can really ace them off, it is more than sufficient for the interview, because a real-time project is something like someone is creating the scenarios for you. I hope you are from IT background, right?
Yeah, yes,
So when you are from IT background, you are smart enough to build your own test cases, right, for a given application. I'll tell you how do you deal a real-time project. I'll explain you all the concepts. I'll give you some examples. I'll take some examples for application and I build my test cases. Similarly, you can also build test cases for any application that you want, right? Yes or no, Savita?
yes.
So based on the framework concepts that we are discussing in the class, I want you to do that as a homework. Like I want you to build a project based on the test cases that you have written. That way, it will be way easier for you to create a real-time project in your own hands instead of me saying like, obviously I'll be covering different applications for different concepts. So whatever we cover in class is just minimalistic of what you practice. See, maximum all try to give you a real-time examples, real-time concepts only. But if you want to create a real-time project, even though we do something in the class, you also need to practice the same thing of what we do.
Yeah, I can understand. Actually, I don't have experience in automation. I have only manual testing experience.
Yeah.
So, how to write it
You,
a map automation
so
test case?
what we'll do is, for
Okay,
any application, you pick any application for me, which is globally accessible. You write test
okay,
cases for it. Then we'll
okay,
automate those test cases at the end of the sessions. At the end of the sessions, you give me
okay.
you choose one application, you write the test cases. This is similar. This is the same task I'm giving to everyone. Since everyone is a manual tester, you can write test cases for whatever application you want. Let's try to automate whatever we can in the class. That sounds like a fair deal, right, for a real-time project?
Yes,
Because it will be very easy for you to understand. Because since you have written the test cases, it's very easy for you to understand, right? When I write the test cases using the automation script.
yeah, okay,
So we can do it that way, Savita.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Do we need Windows OS or Mac is also good to go, Pramila, but there are some challenges when you're installing the Git bash. So when we install the Git bash, I'll let you know. There's some YouTube recording you have to go through it. I'll just share that YouTube recording. If you have Windows, it's completely fine. Like if you have the option of using Windows, then you go for Windows. Else, if you have to use Mac only, then go for the Mac. Then we can't help. Yeah,
Is class duration is 1 hour or 1.5 hour?
it's 1 hour only.
Thank you.
Hmm. Yeah, Harshad, you are asking something.
Yeah, so we are covering UI automation plus API automation, right?
Yes.
API automation, which tool we are learning, sir?
REST API, REST API,
Okay,
REST assured API automation.
okay. That is also Java code or
So when we use REST automation, that is also Java. We don't use any
okay,
Postman tool or Swagger tool for API automation. There is REST API
uh-huh.
automation that we need to use. Okay.
Okay, okay. So
The
through code
most,
only we will.
yeah, through code only we have to do.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
In Postman also the code will be similar, sir, or it will be different.
Postman, Postman, you have to use Newman JavaScript.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay,
there we have to use JavaScript. That is something else. I'm not.
okay,
Hmm? That is not what we are working on. So the Postman tool, if you write the automation test cases on Postman tool, when I want to run the same cases in the client environment, do you think client will allow us to install Postman tool?
no, no.
Then it's useless for me to work on teach on it, right? Whatever is useful on a generic basis, then I'm trying to teach. You can use API
Okay,
automation
okay,
in the client environment.
okay, okay. You mean to say the client environment may not allow us to install a Postman tool to run these
Yeah,
test cases?
yes. Even
So
Swagger
it
tool
is
also they'll
useless.
not allow. So
Okay.
directly I'll
So
interact
rest
with the
assured
API.
we can.
Yeah,
So
rest
whatever
assured
the we can execute.
we can execute in any restricted environment. If you feel something is restricted, they will share you the APS certificate also if you want. As per the
Okay.
contractual agreements, you are allowed to share the APS certificate on request.
Okay.
Now you understand
Okay.
why Postman tool is not used in client environment or real time.
Okay. Okay. Got it, sir. Got it.
Hmm.
Why it
Okay.
is not suggested? Because it is open source one. I didn't get that point.
Uh, why it's not suggested is whenever a client machine means client machine is that's his proprietary machine. He can have whatever tools he wants, but he wants always the enterprise edition. 90 to
Hmm.
99% of the clients always want enterprise editions for their softwares. Let it be MS SQL, let it be the Microsoft Visual Studio or the JDK. Recently, they have released the paid version and the enterprise edition in 17. No matter what
Okay.
you do, they want always the enterprise edition, and they're ready to spend that much amount of money for that. Why? Security, data
Okay.
integrity. They don't want any breach of data. Even though Postman offers the paid tool also, what does it serve the company? See, I know MS SQL is there to store my database. I know Visual Studio is there to go through the code if there is any issue. What is the purpose of Postman tool? Do I really need to test the API in the production environment? Because everything is automated there, right? Like the API will be present in the somewhere. Automatically the request is sent and you'll be capturing the response. It's an automatic process. For that, I don't need to use a Postman tool, right?
Okay.
If you really want to test your APIs, you can directly interact with the API calls and just do it. That is why we avoid using Postman tool or Swagger or whatever tool it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope I've clarified most of your doubts, or if anything else, please unmute and talk.
Your good name, sir?
Rahul.
Rahul. Okay. I joined lately. Sorry to.
Yeah, no worries.
Can you explain about the fee structure about this thing?
You can contact our team. Like you can contact Kumar Gupta sir or the team from our side. They'll explain you the fee structure and other areas. Yeah. Anything related to the course, I'll be explaining you. Anything related to
While
the finances and other things, you can talk to the team.
while practicing, if we struck somewhere, we some doubts. Who will? I mean,
I'll
whom
only
to contact?
clarify those doubts. You can post it in the
Okay.
group or you can post it in my personal window. I'll see and I'll clarify it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay? Okay?
Any placement assistance providing or else just for the
Sorry?
course? Any
Sorry, I couldn't
placement
hear you.
assistance?
No, I am not. We generally don't commit for a placement assistance, but still you can talk to the team for that. You can talk